guys, welcome back to the channel. This is my pulls video for Exdeath, and for everybody new to the channel, I skip blue orbs and let the gold orbs play out. And I'm gonna go straight into Exdeath because Kieran, I don't think you should be pulling for unless he's like one of your favorite characters and have extra resources. But if you're strapped on resources and new players, definitely don't pull on Kieran. So Exdeath, I'm gonna try and make this simple. He does not break with any of his kit. So again, he cannot break enemies with any of his moves. But although that can be a downside, it has a huge upside. The reason being is that all his damage comes from a gravity-based kit. Gravity means you're going to reduce the enemy's brave by a certain percentage, and then you're going to do a certain percentage of HP damage. So Exdeath doesn't care about enemy defenses. That's like the beauty about of Exdeath, is that all these stages where you have enemies with huge brave gains and huge defenses, he doesn't care. He's just going to always do a certain amount of brave damage and a certain amount of HP damage. And then his damage is going to come from off-turn damage because of all his debuffs. His debuffs, he has multi-HP poison debuffs. So enemies are going to be taking turns without Exdeath even attacking. So here I actually pull his LD. Again, super lucky on the pulls. I think I did it with my second multi pull, but I have to keep going because I don't have his EX and I ran out of EX tokens. So another lucky pull for me. I think I might be one of the luckiest players when it comes down to pulls. But back to Exdeath. Exdeath, his S1 is gonna reduce enemy brave to a certain amount of HP damage. His S2, same thing, but just more brave reduction, more HP damage. And his LD is going to reduce all enemy brave down to 0. So not by a certain percentage, it's just going to reduce it down to 0 and then do a certain amount of HP damage. And that's to everybody. All of his attacks do splash damage, or his S1 does splash, his S2 does split, and his LD is a full HP. Now, when you use his LD, you do get a free skill use, so nothing new. The only reason you're going to be using his S1 is to prolong him, right? Longevity, you get 10 turns. Because his S2, only you get 5 turns of that. So with his S1, you're only going to be using it to keep up his buff and his debuff. The debuff automatically gets put on the enemies at the start of the quest, and so does his buff. So you just have to keep that up. Then his S2 is going to inflict something called Curse for 8 turns, which is an HP poison, attack down, defense down, speed down. That's the one I would probably start off with, because although he doesn't care about the enemy defenses, you're going to be reducing their attack and their defenses for your players to be able to hit the enemy harder, especially with that 40% defense down. So what you want to do probably is start off with, I would probably start off with S2 and then move into the LD. That's what I would probably end up doing. And so then his LD is going to inflict Diffusing Vortex, which is just an attack down to the enemy, but another HP poison on top of that. So you're going to have 2 different debuffs that are going to inflict HP poison on the enemy. Now, his bread and butter, I think, it comes from his BT. And the reason I want to token his BT is because he has a move, which I'll get back to, but I do pull for his EX here. I get his LD and his EX with like only 80 tickets, I think, or something like that. Another super lucky pull video for me. If you haven't seen my other pulls videos, check them out. But back to his burst. His burst is going to do a follow-up attack, but actually it's at the start of any of your players' turns, including their AA skills. So at the start of every turn, the enemies are going to take an HP damage of 300% of Exdeath's attack. And it's also going to battery the party 100% of Exdeath's attack. So right before every move, think about like if you use core, right? Core will do a move before your player does a move. Exdeath is going to do the same thing, and he does it for 3 turns, and it's just an insane burst effect that even in JP from my understanding, has been used for a very long time. So that's the reason I want to get his burst, because you're going to be you can deal so much damage with him, because since you're doing HP damage based on his attack value, the enemy defense value does not matter. So I think if you're a new player and you have time to really learn the kit, I think he's going to be very useful to you. Other than that, he's not a necessary player to have. He's not a must-have, but I think that it's resources well spent. If you ticket or token him, or ticket or gem him, you're not going to regret it. So if you pull on him, good luck. Hey guys, thanks for watching, and make sure you like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and let me know in the comments what you think about the banner, if you use tickets or gems, and also check out the links in the description for Opera Omnia websites that give you a bunch of useful information, and I'll see you in the next one.